Welcome back to my channel. I know why you clicked on this video. You are probably asking yourself, she's pregnant again and you're in shock. No, I am not pregnant. So I've had many people ask me this question: if I am pregnant, if we are expecting baby number 3. Guys, it has been barely a year since I gave birth, so obviously I'm not pregnant. Okay, please relax. And if you were one of those people that did assume that I was pregnant and you did not come to ask me because you did not want to intrude or ask personal questions, thank you so much for that, because yeah, it's quite personal. But today I want to share with you guys, I have fibroids. I have been living with fibroids for about 4 years, 3-4 years now. And yeah, this video is just going to basically share with you my experience with fibroids, how I found out, how I got pregnant, and how I've been surviving having fibroids. So yeah, let's get right into today's video.
Yeah, I'm that type of woman. I'm that type of woman. Listen, I'm the type of woman, not any type of woman, the type of woman that'll go out and get it. And I ain't with that shoo-shoo and all that gossiping, ain't worried what's in your pockets, I'm just minding my business. You see, I'm the type of woman, not any type of woman, the type of...
Alright, let's start with educating each other first on what fibroids are. So fibroids are non-cancerous growths that happen in your womb or outside your womb, your uterus basically. So that's where they develop. So they are non-cancerous growths. I'll be putting some images on the screen to help you. So they are those that grow in the lining of your uterus. They attach themselves on the lining of your uterus. Then others attach themselves just outside. Others attach themselves near your cervix. So in medical terms, let me just explain to you what this means in medical terms. We have intramural, submucosal, subserosal, and cervical fibroids. Intramural, these are the most common types of fibroids. They grow within the muscular uterine wall. And then there are submucosal fibroids. These fibroids develop under the inner lining of the uterus, endometrium, and bulge into the uterine cavity. Then there are subserosal fibroids. These fibroids grow on the outer surface of the uterus, serosa, and may project outward into the pelvic or abdominal cavity. And then we have cervical fibroids, which located in the cervix, the lower narrow part of the uterus that connects to the vagina. So as for me, I have what are called the submucosal fibroids. They develop in the inner lining of the uterus. So I have the submucosal type of fibroids. So when did I find out that I had fibroids? So I found out that I had fibroids in 2021. I was not yet married by then, but we were going towards our lobola. That's when I found out I cannot say infected. That's when I found out I had fibroids. I think it was January or February, around that time. So what happened is I was experiencing some weird symptoms, and I had missed my period for quite some months. So I was really scared as to what was really going on. So by then, my husband, my then boyfriend, we went together to get a scan. I remember my husband, then boyfriend, accompanying me to get a scan at this place in Noto. Remember that place that I spoke to you about when I did my labor and delivery vlog? That place where they later did me dirty on my day, or dirty on the day that I was experiencing labor pains. Yeah, that place. So I went there to get a pelvic scan, because that was the only place in Norton, I think, that was providing that service. I stand to be corrected, but I think so. So we went there, and then we got the scan, and the guy who was doing the scan at that time told me, you have fibroids. Okay, the first question that he asked me was, have you ever had a baby before? And I said no. Have you ever had a miscarriage before? And I said no. And I asked, why are you asking me this? And also he asked me how old I am, and I told him my age. And then he asked me, and then he told me, you have fibroids. I was like, what do you mean I have fibroids? What are fibroids? And they told me they are non-cancerous growths that happen in your womb. And straight away, he gave me a scare. Listen to what he said next. They could affect your fertility. You might not be able to conceive. That's why I'm asking you if you've had a baby before or not. Guys, tears started rolling down my cheeks immediately. I remember coming out of that room, my husband, he was still my boyfriend at that time, he asked me something and I could not respond. I was just crying. Got into the car, I was just crying. I did not explain anything to him. I was just crying. I gave him the, those little pics that come out of your scan. I gave him that. I was just crying, guys. I was just telling myself, so I will never have a baby. I will never ever experience motherhood because I have fibroids now. I have fibroids now. So fun fact is, before I knew I had fibroids, already it was a common thing. Most women, especially black women, have fibroids, and before then I did not know anything about it. So from there that's when I started doing my research, and I actually found out that they are pretty common, especially in black women, and they can cause issues, some minor like just bloating, but in extreme cases they cause fertility issues. It might be really hard for you to conceive when you have fibroids. So the first thing that I did when I got home, I started crying. My mom was like, "Chi, Melo, chi, I got fibroids." And I was crying, guys. I was crying. Let me check my baby, guys, and then we'll continue with the story. So guys, there are some people who are very superstitious, okay? And then there are also people who think that they get visions from God or dreams from God. So let me tell you something that really made me scared when I heard that I had fibroids. So the first thing is, at some point back, there was a time that I had broken up with my husband, then boyfriend. There was that time that I had broken up with him, and I was dating this other guy, and that guy claimed to be spiritually gifted or anything, and then he told me that the Lord told me to tell you that you might never be able to have your own children. Like, you never be able to conceive. That was one person. Then this other random person told me the same thing, that you might die without conceiving. It's a joke. You know, when those people told me that, they were linking it to a spiritual husband. They said you have a spiritual husband on you and he doesn't want you to have children, so you will never have children in your life. Then my mom, she's friends with this woman, the sawira of the family, I don't know. And then that woman has a son who claims he is a prophet or anything like that. And some time before I actually found out that I had fibroids, he told my mom, in fact, he told my mom that mwana wenyu kana mchida bata anzi kana mchida bata abazukuru kubva kune mwana wenyu Melody, you must bring chi ivu, you must bring what, you know what those prophets do. Mfana kuyane chakati yeto mnamatira chi. And you know what I did? I said to my mom, I am not going there. That person is not God. I will conceive. So when I actually found out that I had fibroids, I was starting to think, is this a confirmation of everything that I've been told, that I will not be able to conceive and what? So I was really scared. And for a moment, it really affected me, and I was really down and out for quite a while. But then I booked a visit back to that clinic again, and I saw this doctor, and he told me, don't even worry about these fibroids. Don't even worry about them. Just continue with your life as if you don't know that they exist, because that way you're going to bring back your happiness. But if you dwell on them, if you continue thinking about them, then that stress is going to feed them again, because the fibroids feed on junk food. The fibroids feed on stress. The fibroids feed on he mentioned a lot of things, and he just said, don't think about the fibroids too much, just focus on yourself, try and be healthy and be happy and pray a lot. So I really thank God for that doctor. I don't think he was a guy, and I think he was just a GP. So from then I just started continuing with my life, just living my life the way I would, and just knowing that, okay, I have fibroids. So from then, by then I found out that I only had 3 fibroids, and the biggest one was measuring, I think, 4 centimeters by 4 centimeters. I think the biggest one at that point, the biggest fibroid that I had, but I had 3 fibroids at that point. But the good thing is they were not causing any heavy bleeding when I was on my menstruals. So usually fibroids, to know that you have fibroids, you know by having long periods and heavy bleeding during your periods and heavy cramping during your periods. But with me, I only experienced normal periods. No, they were not normal. Let's not call them normal, because my periods were like for 4 days. But for those 4 days, I would bleed heavily. Not heavily, normally. I would bleed normally for 2 days. And then the other days, I'll just spot, maybe when I go to urinate, and then I'll just see some blood, and I'll just realize that, oh, I'm still on my period. And that would happen. And they would change the days that my period would start. They would change. But I did not experience any cramps, any heavy cramps or heavy bleeding. So that's why I was really shocked to know that I had fibroids. Okay, so yeah, so that happened, and I started looking for natural remedies to fibroids. I found out that you can have boiled guava leaves. Guys, at that point I was doing anything and everything to get rid of these things. I was doing anything and everything. And remember, this was towards my marriage, my lobola, my roora. So I did not want to get into my marriage and then have the stress of now you can't give birth. Not now you can't conceive. You can't conceive. You are now married. You can't conceive. So me and my boyfriend, now husband, he was really helpful. He was really supportive. So what's papas? So every remedy that I had of that I would share with him, he would help me get that remedy. So for example, I had that guava leaves shrink fibroids or anything like that. So I would go and pluck from our neighbor's house and I would boil and drink the water. I also found out that you can use an avocado seed, a dried avocado seed, then you grate it, you boil the water and you drink it. I did that. I was doing everything, guys. I was doing a lot. There's also this tree, the bark of this tree. But I'll ask my mom because I also boiled the bark of that tree and drank. Mutoe, yes. Mutoe. I boiled the bark of that mutoe tree. Ndakamwa. Because they were said to help. I did a lot of things, guys. And then finally my mom shared my situation with her friend who is a nurse, and that friend who is a nurse had an experience dealing with someone who had fibroids as well, but unfortunately, God rest her soul, she lost her life while trying to give birth, but she had fibroids as well. So the fibroids grew together with the baby, and I don't know what happened when she was trying to give birth, and then she lost her life and that of the baby. May her soul rest in peace. We actually went to church together with that person. So she said there are some pills that I could get you that could help you with your fertility. But because I was not yet married, she said, and she gave me those pills and I drank those pills. So I had to take those pills 3 times. So she gave me the first course. I completed it, but they were quite pricey. They costed $60 per course, I remember. The second one, I completed it. The third one, I completed it. Yeah, and then it continued like that. I was just living, knowing that I have these things in my womb that I do not want. Then I turned to prayer. I started praying, waking at night, midnight prayers, praying, binding those fibroids. I speak against the principalities coming against my womb. I cancel every plan of the enemy barren in the mighty name of Jesus. I was praying every night, and I would pray and I would shout that my mom would be like in the morning, and I was like, Dr. Andin's going to watch. Dr. Andin's. I would pray, bind every spirit. By those days, I was still at Lorimac. I was still working at Lorimac, and then I had some friend at Lorimac who was following this lady. Is this Hannah? Whatever. This prayer lady on Facebook who was helping people pray, going to mountains and stuff like that. So that lady would hold lives on Facebook, and I would watch those lives at 12 midnight. I would watch those lives. I would pray along. I would bind any spirit. I would speak positivity over my womb. I would say this womb will hold children. This womb will conceive children by the mighty name of Jesus. I would pray, guys. I would pray. I would write down prayer points. I was in my prayer mode. I was praying because I did not want these things inside my body. I did not want these things to contribute to me being said I cannot conceive. I was praying against it, guys. I was praying every night, 12 a.m. on the dot. I would be on Facebook Live following those prayers, praying. If you would live next door to me, I'm sure you would testify that, hey, this woman, this girl, she was praying. I was praying, okay? So yeah, we continued with our prayers. Then in December, I got engaged. Then we were working towards our Aurora in January of 2022. So December 2021, for December 2021, I got engaged, and now working towards my Aurora. Yeah. So towards the day of my Aurora, somewhere there, I don't remember what happened, but yeah, somewhere there, I then found out that you guys don't ask me a lot of questions. Stop asking me questions. What I'm going to say it, but stop asking follow-up questions, okay? Don't ask me follow-up questions. Just know what I'm going to tell you. So days before my Aurora and marriage ceremony, my boyfriend, now husband, told me, the way that you are loving KFC and chicken slice these days is not normal. Please take a pregnancy test. And I was like, what are you saying? Fibroids, this, what? And he said, take a test. Then I took a test, and it did not even take a second to confirm that I was pregnant. Boom, 2 lines. That's when I knew that I was pregnant. You know, the first thing that I did when I got home to my mother, I told her, Mama, uyo yakati chiko uyo yaiti nduye nevhure chiko neuyo yamprofita uyo yakati chi. Mama, go and tell him that he is not God. I remember that is what I said to my mom. Mama, go and tell that person kuti he is not God. He is not God. Now, I was so sure that my God is with me. I have managed to get pregnant with fibroids. What kind of a miracle is that? What kind of a miracle is that? Like, guys, can you even imagine? So, the day came of our Aurora and wedding ceremony. Yeah, we did the things. We got married. But I was already pregnant. And then yeah, time went by. 1 month, 2 months into the pregnancy, yeah, everything was good, but I was just sick. So remember that friend, that my mother's friend that I spoke about, that gave me the pills, she came again and said, we need to make sure that these fibroids are like they do not compete with the baby in the womb, because what I know about these fibroids is your nutrients are in your womb. The fibroids grab those nutrients too. So it will be a competition between the baby and the fibroids to get those nutrients. So she gave me that pill to help me mwana asa kuti mafibroids asakurira nemwana, because mwana anotopedzisira asina space, so the baby won't develop the way that the baby is supposed to develop. So she gave me those pills to stop the fibroids from growing the same time baby is also growing. So she really helped me, because that was kind of a smooth pregnancy. I was sick, yes, I was sick for my first child, Reshan. I was sick, but it was not as bad. And it was not as bad because of those pills. So those pills really did help me a lot. And on the day that I was supposed to give birth, on the day that I started my contractions, now the fibroids were blocking the baby's way in a way, and yeah, it was impossible for me to give birth naturally. But the people at this hospital, this clinic that I had booked, vakandinonokera, and I ended up going into labor for 30 plus hours for nothing, just kungorwadziwa for nothing. So I ended up getting the C-section, and the doctor who did my C-section with Reshan said, Toma Vise, my fibroids, should we remove these fibroids? No, you come back after 6 months and then we'll remove them there. You know, gynecologist and wanting money, he could have just removed them, but he just saw it fit to leave them there in my womb so that I can come back later, so that he removes them. Well, fair and fine. I have my first baby, thank God. Thank the living God. And yeah, I stopped taking any pills or any remedies in that period when I had my baby. I even went on family planning pills. I went on the secure pill from Zim. Went on the secure pill, and it did not sit well with me because I was still bleeding randomly, so I left it. So in the way of me trying to find a good what do you call it, contraceptive for me, I found out I was pregnant with baby number 2. That was what, 2 years later. Yeah, found out that I was pregnant with this one, and I was shocked. I was scared. I was shocked. Why? Because why did I get pregnant that fast again when I have fibroids? And also I was scared for my first baby, because I thought that it was not going to be fair on him that I would have another baby. But despite all that, I was still happy that God saw it possible to make me a mother to 2 people, made me conceive for the second time with fibroids. So it just goes on to say, all those people who say, waita lucky wewe kuita nombone na fibroids, those are just assumptions. As my doctor said, having fibroids doesn't disqualify you from being a mom, doesn't disqualify you from getting pregnant. It just makes chances smaller, or it just makes it harder for you to actually conceive, but it doesn't make you less of a good candidate. It just makes things harder for you to get pregnant. But in my case, I thank God. I don't know this kind of favor. I don't know. I thank God so much every day, because if it was not for God, I wouldn't have these babies. So yeah, then I had 3 fibroids. Then there was still 3. Even when I gave birth to this one, there were still like 3 fibroids. But recently I went to a scan because I was not feeling well. I went to get a scan, and I found out that they have multiplied. They gave birth to each other. They were calling each other like kuno, and now there are 6 of them in my womb, different sizes, different positions, 6 of them in my womb. That's why I look pregnant. I look 6 months pregnant. Okay, so yeah, living with fibroids, I cannot say it has affected me emotionally, because if I did not have these babies, I would say that's when they would have affected me emotionally. But knowing that they are just there, they're just sitting inside my body, minding their business, and I'm minding mine, and they are also allowing me to have my babies, it's okay. I'm okay emotionally. But physically, wow, physically they are really fighting me, because this big tummy that I have, this huge stomach that I have, is really chowing on my self-confidence. Imagine I can't wear the dresses that I want to wear for the fear of people asking me if I'm pregnant again. And some people even go and say, Sungadumbu. Sungadumbu, tie that tummy so that it goes back inside. Because sungadumbu. And people will be giving you different remedies. Not knowing it's not just a dumbu. They have just fibroids in there. Right? So you cannot just come and tell me with sungadumbu. It doesn't work like that. You're going to sungadumbu. These fibroids are going nowhere. Okay, so yeah, I have a lot of dresses that I would like to wear, but I can't wear those because I look 6 months pregnant. Even if I try to do a tummy tuck, it doesn't work because I have fibroids. So that's the reality of living with fibroids. Physically, it's really taking a toll on my body. I am not confident about my body. Imagine you have a mommy pouch and then fibroids. Now it's double trouble. You can't do anything about it. So that's the downside of having these fibroids. And the other thing that I have to only be a C-section mom because of the fibroids, because I can't push. Because when I gave birth to this one, by that time they had moved and they had closed my pelvis. Like they had closed Nzirayamwana. So there was no way, even if I wanted to do, what do you call it, VBAC, vaginal birth after C-section, even if I wanted to do that, there was no way I was going to do that, because angavara, like the way that mana comes out with. So I had to do a C-section. So that's another negative positive impact of having fibroids, because you won't have your vaginal birth. But I am happy because C-section or vaginal birth, I have my babies. I have my healthy babies, and I'm so happy, and I thank God for that. So I can say those are just the two negative consequences or effects of having these fibroids or living with these fibroids for this long. In terms of pain, they are not painful. They are just there. They just exist in me. They're just there. They just exist. If they get painful, I know that something is wrong, or maybe there's an infection of some sort or anything like that, but they should not be painful. Normally, the kinds that I have should not be painful because they are just flexible, but I can hear them move sometimes. I can feel them move. It can bulge up on my tummy like this, and then it goes like this, and then it goes down. It acts like a baby in your stomach. Imagine. My fibroids are now, there are now 6 of them. I now have 6 fibroids in my womb with different sizes. The biggest now measuring 4 centimeters by 4 centimeters. The smallest one, I think it's around a centimeter by 2 or I think, but the biggest one is 4 centimeter by 4 centimeters. Then 2 of them are 3 by 3 centimeters, and then we have this other small one, and then 2 small ones. So yeah, that is my current situation. And in terms of surgery, I don't think I'm ready to have surgery for fibroids yet, but I'm considering it in the near future. I was hoping that I would get herbal solutions to the fibroids, but yeah, I'm still looking. If you know of anything, please suggest in the comment section. But in terms of an operation, I'm still considering if I want to go and get them removed, because I heard even if you get them removed, they might still come back. I'm not really sure if that is true or not, so I'm still considering and weighing my options. And also it depends, if they get painful, I'll get them removed, but if they don't get painful, I'll just leave them like that. I'll just die like that. It doesn't matter, as long as I have my babies with me. They allowed me to have my babies, so it's okay. It's okay. These fibroids made me realize that God loves me. They are the biggest testimony in my life. My life on its own is a testimony. Like, I've been through a lot. God has brought me out of a lot of situations that I put myself in, and now I am a living testimony. The kind of life that I'm living now is a testimony. The fact that I have these babies is a testimony on its own, because I am part of the statistics that can actually confirm to you that having fibroids doesn't mean you won't actually conceive. If you have fibroids, it doesn't mean that you won't conceive. Do not undermine God's power, because God is bigger than fibroids. God is bigger than any situation, any fertility situation. God is bigger than endometriosis. God is bigger than PCOS. God is bigger than any fertility issue that you might think of. God is bigger than cysts. I also had a cyst when I found out that I had fibroids, but it popped. It disappeared. Now I only have the fibroids. God is bigger than fibroids, guys. So you need to pray. You need to declare over your womb. So as I was saying, guys, I'm sorry. My camera was getting up. So if there is a change in quality, please excuse me. So I was saying, pray for your womb. Pray for your womb. Declare over your womb. Declare the fruit of the womb over your life. Declare, pray over your womb. Declare, speak good things over your womb, and you will be okay, and you will conceive. God will not leave you alone. God is a good God. God is a good God. I can tell you that over and over again. I might not show it, I might complain at times, but I know deep down that I am grateful to God, and I am so happy because due to God, I was able to conceive. Due to God, He managed to help me with my pregnancies up to the point that I managed to hold my babies in my hands. So please do not undermine the power of God, because God is very powerful. He is a very powerful being. Nyange zvakanzi mafibroids anenge aiswa kuti uroyiwe nanatete nanambuya nananana. They failed. If at any point I would have wanted to believe superstitions, what, I would have created a rift between me and some other relatives by now, but I just gave it to God. God was the ultimate solution for this fibroids issue, because I just told God, I don't know how they got into my body. And for sure, up to now, there is no scientific evidence as to how these things starts. Yes, I know benefit from what you eat, like they grow from what you eat. Like if you eat junk food, if you drink fizzy drinks, if you have a lot of sugar, then they grow because of that, yes, but as the root cause of it is not known. So people will just be assuming, yeah, it's because you conceived later in life. Some blame it for having kids late in life. I got pregnant when I was 29, so someone might say, yes, I was late in conceiving. Or some people say, yeah, pretty women attacked my fibroids. Such a stupid idea and such a stupid reason. What did you do? Who did you wrong? But at the end of the day, who was successful at the end of the day? God was successful, because God is bigger than fibroids. So if you have any issues that you want to ask me pertaining to what I took, the pills that I took, please hit me up on Instagram at letlim_mississy_. I'll be happy to assist, and I'll be happy to link you up. And if you have any questions, please drop them down below. If you have any experiences dealing with fibroids, please share your stories in the... Bless you, Papa. If you have any experience dealing with fibroids, please share your experiences in the comment section below. Fibroids, cysts, endometriosis, PCOS, whatever the likes. And if you just need a hand, if you're dealing with this and you just need a hand or someone to talk to, I'm here and I can talk to you. But please, at some point, this is just a disclaimer. Yes, Papa. At some point, I wanted to really help someone out of the goodness of my heart. And now, I don't know where people get them from. I don't know if I look like a witch, but to each their own, okay? To each their own. But anyways, if you need help, if you need to know, because at this point, trust me, we don't even know what helped. Was it those pills? Was it the guava leaves? Was it the mutoe leaf, the mutoe bark? Was it the avocado seed? We don't know. Was it the avocado seed? We don't know. So yeah, I can just tell you a list of everything that I've heard and things that I'm still hearing now, because my mom is just looking for solutions because she doesn't want her child to suffer. No mother wants their child to suffer. So yeah, if you need someone to talk to, I am here. I need to feed this one now. He is hungry. So yeah, guys, I just needed to share with you my story. I shared with you my story not for you to feel pity for me or say, oh, sorry. And I know I shared this story so that you can be encouraged, so that you don't lose hope, so that you know that there's a light at the end of the tunnel. You can conceive with fibroids. You can't conceive. It might be hard, yes, it might take time, but eventually it will happen for you, okay? Just trust God. God has never failed. He won't fail you. He will never fail you, because He is a good God. Sometimes mindro no, but mindro actually it will. So thank you so much for watching today's vlog. I'll see you guys in my not a vlog. Thank you guys for watching today's video. Don't forget to like, comment, share out this video to people who might actually benefit from it, and I will see you guys in my next upload. Bye.